Hello, mighty companions. Mighty companions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready? We could start out by giving yourself some love. Take a breath. Take another deep breath. Only love. Teach. Only love. Teach. Only love. Only love. Because that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what I am. Teach only love, for that is what we are. Teach only love. Love is what we are. Teach only love. Love is what we are. Teach only love. Love is what we are. Teach only love. For love is what you are. Teach only love. For love is what you are. Teach only love. For love is what we are. Teach only love. For love is what we are. Teach only love. Love is what we are. Teach only love. Love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are, and breathe. One time. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are. Teach only love, for love is what we are, and breathe. How many of you need some healing? Well, the first thing to remember is that if you really want to have a healing today, especially if you're here for the first time, is to remember that you don't have to believe any of the things that you hear today. That you need not believe it, you need not welcome it, you need not accept it, that some of the things you hear today are going to be hard to believe, and some of the things you hear today might be quite startling. But you're not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. If you use it, apply it, you will see that it works. If you use it, you'll see that it works. And the section that we're on today is in the teacher's manual, and it's called How is Healing Accomplished? In any area. So we're not just talking about the physical body. We're talking about in any area. We're about to receive the instructions about how to heal in any area. Do you have your area?
Yeah.
I know you only have one.
Yeah.
So the first thing to realize, whatever the area is that you want healing in, it involves an understanding of what the illusion of the sickness is for. So if you want a healing, then you have to understand what you're going through this is for. It's impossible to heal unless you understand what you are putting yourself through this for. That's rule number one. So in that area that you mentioned, then what we're about to do is get in touch with, well, why are you putting yourself through this? So the perceived purpose of sickness, and the course called sickness, any form of lack of peace. So we're not just talking about, again, just the physical body. We're talking about anything you're not giving yourself peace about, anything you're not feeling peace about. Healing, so that's what I do. Whenever something is going on, then as quickly as I possibly can, I go straight to the truth. Because one of the purposes of whatever the sickness is, or the unhappiness is to get you not to remember the truth. It's to distract you, to believe that whatever is going on is being created by something outside of yourself. Healing is accomplished the instant the sufferer no longer sees any value in pain. So whatever you're going through that's causing you any pain will stop when you stop valuing the pain, the problem. Because who would choose suffering unless they thought the suffering brings them something? So whatever you're going through, like right now, I'm trying to make the decision about whether or not I want to feel physically ill. I feel like crap, physically. And so I know that that's because I've been having tremendous amounts of breakthrough, tremendous amounts of love, tremendous amounts of peace. Been studying my butt off, focusing on my relationship with my Creator, forgiving, taking responsibility, not holding anyone else responsible for my happiness as much as I possibly can. I'm letting go of the idea if you were different, if something was different, if somebody were different, then I'd be happy. Okay, that's what I've been working on. And the Course tells me that when you do that from time to time, that part of you that doesn't want you to do any of that, that doesn't want you to believe that you can be peaceful, you can be happy, you can be healthy, you can be abundant, the part of me that doesn't love me, the part of me that learned I was sinful, guilty, and bad, and not enough, that part of me is saying, hell no. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of y'all going through what I'm talking about right now?
Oh, yeah.
You just on the bridge this morning getting ready to come back. And all of a sudden your alarm went off and you went, oh, I gotta get to class. And you just left the noose dangling till after the class. It's funny, there's a line in the Course in Miracles that says, and one of it that, you know, it's not Course in Miracles, another book that I'm reading is Course of Love that talks about like, Spirit is saying, I'm kind of shocked that more of you don't try to commit suicide.
We have our ways.
You know what I'm saying? Like actually, I'm kind of shocked that so many of y'all keep try to hang around, considering how unhappy you make yourself all the time, right? So I wanted to make sure that I focused on exactly what the sickness is trying to get me not to focus in on, which is this.
Oh, yeah.
I've learned that over the years. The quickest way to get over this is to do the very thing that I'm supposed to not do because of how I feel.
Good job.
But when you do it enough times and see yourself heal enough times, unless you're totally insane, you go to the thing that works all the time immediately and you don't really kid around.
Yeah.
You know, the ones, you know, when I go to unlock the door to my apartment, I don't take out the key to the church. I don't go, well, I'm not going to use the key to the church or the key to my apartment. The once I know the key to my apartment gets me into my apartment. The reason why most people are still going through their keychain is they haven't decided to use the key that works yet. So it's like going, am I going to use this key or the key to home or the key to my locker? See, I know what to do when I am trying to deceive myself about who I really am as a child of light. I know when I'm trying to make myself think I'm just a physical body that gets older and dies one day. I am not this body. I have it. This is the body. It's my medium of communication, and I'm using it to communicate with you right now. It's not what I am any more than my car is what I am. But I'm trying to convince myself that this body is what I am through creating discomfort in it, which draws my attention to it and makes me want to identify with it as being what I am. The same thing happens when I have pleasure. Same thing. The purpose of the pleasure is to draw my attention to the body, to make me think I'm the body. But pleasure is more of a trap. Because when you feel pain, you want instant release. You feel pleasure, you just want more. Give it to me. Just give it to me. Just give me more. Yeah. So having what you think you want and having the pleasures that you think you want can be much greater delay and maneuvers on your spiritual path than pain.
You got that right.
You know. Yeah. And both of them are exactly the same. They're just a way to make you forget that you are a spiritual being who is now having a temporary experience of being in the physical form. So guess what I'm doing? So I'm using what my ego creates to make me think I am a limited body to remind me that I'm not.
Yeah.
So I took the way that I was feeling to remind me of the truth instead of using it to make me forget it. And any medicines or any external healing support that I use, because if I say I'm ready for healing instantaneously, and then I wait for an instant, and it doesn't happen, then I go to Walgreens and get some flu medicine. And you may go to your herbal shop, or you may go to whatever your thing. You may go meditate. You might whatever the external thing is that you are going to do that's symbolic of your willingness to be healed. Because that's all it is. It's just a symbol. For you, that may be what you think of as a health product. For somebody else, it may be what you would think of as not a health product. But you know it's not any of the products that's ultimately doing the healing. And the reason why you know it's not any of the external things that's ultimately doing the healing is because a lot of people can take that very same method that you just took and don't get no result. So if it was a guaranteed healer, it would heal everybody. Is that right?
Yeah.
So why is it that when you took it, you felt better, somebody else took the remedy, nothing changed? One person decided to be healed through that means, the other person decided to still, right now, for whatever reason, continue to feel sick. So when you try to heal yourself and you don't instantly succeed, then it's okay to rely temporarily on external healing methods. Whether it's jogging, running, eating different, going to the hospital, taking medicine, whatever your thing is. Because one thing I've learned on this spiritual path is not to judge anybody else's spiritual path. Whatever it is you are deciding to do. But it's just a symbolic gesture to show that you have a willingness to be healed, because the true healer is the Holy Spirit, which is the part of you that is completely connected to Source. God is the healer, not us. Okay? And you can use whatever words you want to use for God that you haven't worked through your issues about yet. Yeah, I got a problem with God. Don't say God. Say Superfly. Okay, now.
Wow, flashback.
Some of y'all going, who the hell is Superfly? I'm old enough to remember Superfly.
Right. You don't look it. No.
Thank you, baby. They over 5,000.
No, you don't. What are you doing? It's a secret.
I'm forgiving myself for what I didn't do.
Ooh,
Yeah, I know. So part of applying the truth is telling the truth. Now I could have stood up here and I could have pretended otherwise. And I'm sure there are some people that attempted to say, well, if Earl can still fight illness and he's been studying this forever, then what hope is there for me?
Yeah. Ego loves
I
that.
have never taken one breath for the whole week. And that's the same way it is with the truth. You have to apply it and remember it over and over and over and over until it becomes automatic and you don't have to consciously think of it anymore, because it's just the way you look at things. It's just the way you apply it. So if you think you're going to say anything one time every now and then and think you're going to get a consistent result in terms of your abundance, your happiness, and your joy, you're surely deceiving yourself. If you spend 1 minute of the day telling yourself you're innocent and the other 23 hours mad at everybody, blaming everybody, attacking everybody, then that's going to be the majority of the experience that you have. Even though one truth is more powerful than 10,000 illusions. Because the universe sides with you when you want to love yourself, because the universe is a loving universe. So you have to make yourself miserable by yourself through constantly not remembering the truth. And if you really don't love yourself, you just get you a special relationship that keeps it going all the time, so that you just don't forget it all. Okay, that's the most popular way that people, they'll get somebody that they think they're upset with all the time, or they think their wish was different, or was showing them some kind of love. That's your personal misery partner.
EMP.
But when you start to wake up, you are open to your personal joy partner, your personal love partner, your personal healing partner, your personal reminder. And you won't settle for anything less out of the love you have for yourself. Okay? So, whatever the healing is that you want to experience right now, that healing will happen as you no longer see any value in pain, because you only choose suffering because you think it's bringing something to you and something of value. So if you think you're going through lack, it's because you think there's something about lack that's valuable, or loneliness, or sickness. In other words, you think it's a small price to pay for something of greater worth. So right now, whatever's going on within my body, I think it's a small price to pay for something of greater worth. The ego of man goes, well, what is it? What is the thing of greater worth? And what's most important to remember is, whatever you're going through, you just think it's a small price to pay for something of greater worth. Sickness or unhappiness of any kind is an election. It's a decision. It's a choice of weakness. And the mistaken conviction that somehow or another me going through this thing that I'm going through is going to benefit me in some way. It's going to give me more power in some way. So if somehow I think that me being unhappy, lonely, alone, sick, broke, unfulfilled, I think it's going to help me achieve something of greater value than having abundance, love, freedom, and happiness. In other words, if I believe that punishing myself is the way that I absolve myself, then I'm going to create a lot of pain for myself so that I can absolve myself, because we were taught that if you are not worthy and you're not lovable and you're not whole and you're not perfect and you're guilty, that you deserve some type of punishment. Someone that's not worthy, not truly loved, not truly loving doesn't deserve to have an abundant, loving life. It's what a part of the mind thinks. So what most people are doing is they're just acting out the programming that they got when we came here, which is punishment is correction. So instead of your parent or guardian punishing you right now as an adult, you took on that responsibility for yourself. And now you whoop your own butt so that you can absolve yourself of guilt, of unworthiness. And then people say, well, I don't feel that way about myself. I love myself. I have totally positive viewpoints about everything. Well, what you see is your mind. What you feel is coming from your consciousness. So if you really had this unconditional love for yourself and this completely correct perception of yourself, whatever it is that you're telling yourself that's keeping you from feeling happy right now would not be in your perception. So don't fool yourself into thinking because you are aware of the tip of the iceberg that you're looking at the whole iceberg, because most of your consciousness is below your awareness. Most of your mind you're not even aware of, and it is called your world. Your world is your mind, and what you are perceiving and living is the result of your conscious and your unconscious thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs. Don't get depressed. Okay? Try not to get depressed. I know. Okay? This is good stuff. And then it drops down to the next paragraph, and it says the shift in perception. The shift in perception, SIP, for short. Yeah, you gotta sip. You gotta take a little sip. Y'all know y'all can't handle too much truth. So we're gonna give you just a little sip. Okay, all right. So healing in the situation that you have just thought of must occur in exact proportion to which the valuelessness of this problem or sickness is recognized. So the more you realize that you deserve happiness, instead of deserving to suffer for real, the healing in your perception is going to occur. So true healing comes from self-value and the perception of self-value. Okay, so the ones you recognize is not valuable for you to be putting yourself through relationships that you're constantly attacked and unhappy in. It's not valuable for you to be doing something every day that doesn't fulfill your function and doesn't give you any sense of satisfaction. It's not valuable for you to have a life that is not joyful and fulfilling to you. It's not valuable for you to accept guilt and attack and anger. When you learn that that's not valuable to you, the healing begins to happen. And ultimately, the Course says, one need but say, there's no gain at all to me in this. There's no gain at all to me in this. So whatever that thing is, would you say that? There is no gain at all to me in this. There's no benefit to me in putting myself through this. There's no gain here. He says, if you said that and really meant it, you would be healed. Okay.
No gain.
Okay, so we realized that what we just did was practice saying it.
Yes, we are.
We just practiced saying it. Some people didn't even feel like saying it. That's how little they wanted to hear. They don't believe it. They didn't even want to say it.
Right.
And you're innocent.
And there's no judgment.
There's no judgment. I'm just telling you what happened.
Yes.
I'm just reporting. That's different from judging. Okay? The ones who believe that something really is valuable and can give you what it is you want, no one has to make you do it.
That's right.
Nobody has to force you to do something that you think is going to get you what you want. You know, if I think having a really buff body is going to make me have better bait, so I can catch a better fish, and nobody's going to have to make me go to the gym. Because of my goal, then that's going to motivate me. I think it's going to get me what I want, so I go to the gym. That's the way everything is. Why are you attracted to one person more than another person? There's some part of you that thinks through that person, you're going to get something that you want. Yeah. Yeah. And the minute you think that something's going to give you what you want and you can have it, no one has to make you go toward it. So I really want the truth, and I really want to represent the truth, and I really want to represent unconditional love. So most of the times I don't even have to worry about too many people even approaching me. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. That's the absolute truth. Did you take? I'm always talking about freedom. I want my freedom. I want my freedom. I want to express myself. I want to have inclusive love. I really want freedom. I want to do what I think is best for me to do, and I'm not going to let myself be controlled. And it's not about scripts, and it's not. You think that makes me popular with women? I'm not popular with women. I'm a good friend. They like me for a friend. They don't think of me in terms of mate material. That's the way I talk. Freedom. Oh, Lord. Inclusive love. Oh, Lord. I'm not that popular with women, other than a friend. I get as much impersonal love as you can imagine. And I noticed I also have a lot of peace.
I'm sure that's a coincidence.
Okay, that's a coincidence, isn't it? Okay.
Don't be too honest now, Rob.
That's right, well. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. So, Because I want to love everyone. I want to be the means for the Creator to love everyone through. I want to extend the good, the beautiful, and the holy. I want to be a light. And I find that having that desire and that desire only seems to take care of everything I used to work my butt off for to get. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And there's never a need that I have that's not met. I noticed that too. Especially if I don't decide who should meet it. You know what I'm saying? It's like what slows it down is when I decide who's supposed to give me the love. Suppose they don't want to. Then does that mean I have to do without it? No. It just means it's going to come through to me in another form. Unless I'm addicted to the form I think I want it to come to. And then that slows the whole process down. I've learned that over the years. I can have whatever I want as long as I'm not the one that's deciding who it should be, because the ones that I caused myself the most pain through actually were the ones I chose. And I just look at my track record. What about you? Have you noticed that the challenges you've gone through have many times come to the person you were attracted to? Right. When you really wake up, you'll get to the point you go, I'm attracted to you. I'm going the other way. I know my record. Okay. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a conversation, because I figured most of the time when I have a strong physical attraction to somebody, if I'll just talk to them, I'll lose that. So I just try to make sure I have a conversation when I'm blinded by the butt. Have you all ever suffered from butt blindness? It's intense. Butt blindness. It's especially an issue with black men. Okay. Black, it wasn't fair. So, see, I feel better already. I feel so much better. I feel some healing happening right now. Yeah. And then what happens is, what I found out was that once I focused on my relationship with the Creator, and my relationship with Spirit, and my relationship with the truth, then everything that I thought I wanted was provided, sort of like methadone to a heroin addict. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it was I thought I wanted to fulfill me and give me pleasure, it would be sent to me as long as I was primarily focusing in on my spiritual growth and awakening. So that way I wasn't distracted by not having what I thought I wanted while I was on the way to what I really wanted. So the people would come into my life that would fulfill my fantasies while I was going beyond them. So they wouldn't be a distraction. Because not giving yourself what you want is a distraction when you think you're doing something noble. Because then you're always obsessed about it. Because you don't have it. You see what I'm saying? Right. That's how I got over my attraction to porn. Okay.
What did you say? Your addiction to corn?
Yes, corn.
Corn.
Did you think I said popcorn?
I'm not going to tell you what I heard you say.
Spiritual teachers don't say porn. We all know that. The weird thing about coming to recognize your innocence and recognizing that you give everything all the meaning that it has is that all the things that used to have control over you, that you were tempted to be addicted to, lose all their attraction. When you recognize you're innocent, then nothing controls you. because you realize that most of the stuff that you did that you thought you were addicted to, you were doing it for the guilt that you felt. It was really your attraction to guilt and not feeling good about yourself. Back to the self-punishment thing. Right.
Back to that.
But the more I recognized I was free, that I could choose to do whatever I wanted to do with my own body, and there was nothing to prove, then I noticed 90% of what was driving me physically left. Because I can just choose to do it and not do it. It has nothing to do with my value, how much I'm loved by my Creator, whether or not I'm okay, whether or not you like me or don't like me. See, that's freedom. That's freedom.
That's freedom.
That's freedom. I used to think it was about freedom of the body. It's really about freedom of the mind.
Yeah.
It's really your mind. Like my man, like my buddy's Parliament Funkadelic said, you know, free your mind and your ass will follow. Very deep. That's right up there with Rumi. Parliament Funkadelic. We want the funk.
Yeah.
Gotta have that funk. Okay. We need the funk. Gotta have that funk. We need the funk. Gotta have that funk. See, you gotta have that funk.
You gotta have that fun.
You gotta have that fun.
It's free.
So it's easier to pursue your spiritual path if you allow yourself to have some joy. Because the whole idea of the ego mind is to tell you need to make a sacrifice. And we've been learning that sacrifice, that's the way you do it. You sacrifice. And so we don't sacrifice. You do what you want to do, and you don't do what you don't want to do, and you don't do things that make you feel guilty, not necessarily because what you're doing is wrong, but because if you feel guilty about it, you're going to punish yourself for doing it because you're the one that thinks what you're doing is wrong. So you're going to do it, and then you're going to come right behind and give yourself some drama right behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the truth is, you need to tell yourself that there's no benefit to me at all in this, right? And then it goes to say this, he says you need to recognize certain facts. First, it's obvious that decisions are your mind. Your body isn't making any decision. My body didn't decide to sit this way. My mind did. Your body's never made you do anything. There's a body consciousness, but they're still connected to your mind. So then it says, and if being sick, which is being unhappy, letting yourself have lack of fear, is just a faulty problem-solving approach. So putting yourself through whatever you're going through right now that you don't like, it's a faulty problem-solving approach. You're trying to solve your problems in a faulty way. It won't work. Your suffering won't work. Denying yourself what you really want won't work. Not allowing yourself to have the love you deserve won't work. Beating yourself up all day, criticizing yourself or condemning yourself, or seeing yourself less than whole and beautiful, I'm sorry, it won't work. You're not going to sad your way into happiness. Okay. Then it says the resistance to recognizing that it's just your mind that's deciding how you feel right now is enormous. Because the existence of the world as you see it depends on the body being the decision maker. So the world as you see it, it says, it really is based on the idea that the world or what you are perceiving, that's what's causing you to feel and what you are going through right now. So what we just said is everything you experience is a result of your own consciousness and your own decision. And there's a lot of resistance to that because to keep your world as you see it right now, which is to see yourself in many ways as a victim of it, then that thought that I just shared completely threatens the existence of your world. If my father had been different, I'd be happy right now. If my mother had been more nurturing, I'd be happy right now. Things would be great. If I had been born as a black man in America, things would be better for me right now. Well, that's true.
All the rest.
No, that's not true. That's right. I chose it. It was my decision to be a man. And it was my decision to be of my race before I incarnated here. It's all a choice. But it's a total commitment.
Yes, it is.
And once you make that decision and you're born, you pretty much, but nowadays you can change it if you change your mind. Bruce Jenner did, you know. Yeah. So we in a new world, right? So now, so the course then says in the next paragraph, the acceptance of sickness, the acceptance of whatever it is you think you're going through that's causing you pain, to accept that as being a decision of your mind. Okay, say, okay, what I'm feeling in my body right now was a decision of my mind for a purpose that I'm trying to use my body. So I've made this decision that I'm trying to use my body to bring about. And if I recognize that, that's the basis of any healing, is to realize I'm responsible for what I see. I'm choosing the feelings I experience. I'm deciding upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. That's the basis of healing. Woo! That's so deep. That's so deep. So it says a page, she said that's true for healing of every form. So if I want to have a healing in whatever form I want to have a healing in, it starts out with me reminding myself, whether I believe it or not, that it's a decision of my mind. It's a decision of my consciousness. Even though it might not feel like it might not look like it, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to tell myself the truth, and then I'm still going to do whatever I think is necessary on the outer that's a symbolic act to show that I'm willing to be healed. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying that. Because if you knew how to heal yourself instantly, you would have already done it. Okay? Because I hear some people say, well, I'm not going to take this and I'm not going to do that. That's fine. And I'm going to heal myself. Great. But if you really knew how to heal yourself, you would have already done it. Which means at a subconscious level, you don't think you can do it. Which means at a subconscious level, there's some part of you that believes that the healing is something outside of yourself. That's why we're searching for happiness everywhere. You know. And so, therefore, it's important for me to not make myself feel guilty about whatever I choose to do on the external level to bring about the healing. I'm going to say that because I see so many truth students really jam themselves up with that. Because if you don't do the thing that will give you more immediate relief, especially from pain, it keeps you even more focused on the pain, which keeps you further from the peace of mind that allows you to have the healing. So you're not doing something great because you keep a toothache 10 days longer than you would necessarily have to if you went to the friggin' dentist. That's just another form of punishment and making sure that you do it longer. So when you begin to become conscious and you realize that people have a choice about how they want to approach their peace, and that everything in the universe is trying to give them alternative ways of looking at things. See, so those of us in this particular point in the dream, as I call it, we don't have any excuses. We don't have none. There is so much self-help, spiritual help, counseling stuff. It's ridiculous how, even in the regular world, when you look at TV, you're hearing more and more. It's your attitude. It's what you think. So we're being bombarded with the solutions to everything we're going through from every direction possible. So anyone that's sitting up here saying there's not another way to deal with whatever they're dealing with, they're not being honest with themselves, and what they're really doing is just making a choice to suffer. And out of my respect for your freedom, I will allow you to. Because there are alternatives. You have been shown there are many alternatives. The Course in Miracles is just one. That's just one. But if you're still choosing not to have a spiritual practice, you're still choosing not to commit to any form of sincere truth learning, teaching, however you see it, then you must come to the conclusion that you want to keep the problem that you're going through, that somehow or another it's serving some kind of purpose for you that you're not ready to let go of yet. Just admit that much to yourself and you'll start the healing process. Because at that point, you'll no longer be seeing yourself as a victim. And not seeing yourself as a victim is the key to healing. So if I was just to say, you know what, I hear you, dude. I hear what you're saying, but I need to change my mind and change my perception and have a spiritual practice and do some learning and some studying, and I don't have time. I'm not doing none of that. Okay, well, then that is your right.
Yeah.
That is your right. And out of my love for you, just like my Creator loves me enough to let me dilly-dally around as long as I think I need to, out of my love for you, I'll let you dilly-dally as much as you want to. But you will say, maybe, people don't care. Because they won't join you in the suffering. You see, true empathy is not joining you in your suffering. Me have been empathetic with you don't mean just because you feeling bad, I'm going to feel bad with you. Now we've got two people feeling bad. Nothing's really happened of any benefit to either one of us. I need to see your joy, because your joy reminds me of the alternative that's available to me if I choose it. So you owe it to the people in your life to allow yourself to be happy. They need to see it instead of joining you in whatever you are going through, because you believe it's offering you something more valuable to you than your own happiness. And you're innocent. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
That's so deep. That's so deep. So when you decide that you are ready to be healed, then you recover. If you decide against recovery, guess what? You won't be healed. So who's the physician? Only the mind of the patient himself. Only the mind, only your mind. What are you talking about, dude? It's only your mind that's the physician. The outcome is going to be what you decide the outcome is. Special agents. What are special agents? Jogging, eating, pills, reading, new diet. Whatever you do in the outer world, that's the special agent. He says, special agents seem to be ministering to you, but they are doing what? Just giving form to your own choice. I've made a choice, and then once I make the choice, the things in the physical world that will seem to help bring about the healing will start showing up. You said you wanted more peace, the class showed up. Right? But God's Spirit is the healer. The part of you that loves you and that is love, that's the healer. Not the part of you that's afraid, not the part of you that feels guilty, not the part of you that feels angry, not the part of you that judges, not the part of you that sees yourself as a victim. That part of you is not the healer. You must be clear about that. The you that's worried and upset and don't know what's happening and freaking out is trying to figure out how to heal itself. That's the part of you that created the problem.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the part of you that's going to get you out of it. An atheist is not a person who says they don't believe in God. The Course in Miracles says an atheist is someone who thinks they are alone. Who thinks there is not something that they can call on greater than themselves, that they are connected to, that's within them and without. A martyr is someone who thinks that the Creator punishes. Love punishes. You're guilty. You got to be punished. So I found out when I got into the Course that I was an atheist martyr. That was really special. I'm especially special. That's right. I think I have to suffer and I'm all alone. I think I have to suffer and I'm all alone. I think I have to suffer and I'm all alone. I think I have to suffer and I'm all alone. So I'm going to go to this party next Saturday night. And I'm going to see if I can find somebody to suffer with me.
Get on with me.
Yeah. We're going to suffer together.
Yeah.
And they better only suffer with me. You better not suffer with nobody else but me. So, there is no more gain to me in suffering. There's no more gain in lack. There's no more gain for you in pain. There's no more gain to you in not knowing how beautiful and luscious and juicy and powerful and innocent and fantastic and sensational you are. You don't actually need the special agents at all, really. You could just rise up without their aid and say, I don't have any use to go through this anymore. And there would be no form of sickness and unhappiness that would not be cured at once.
Oh, God. All right. Wow.
So what is the single requirement for this shift of perception? That's what I'm going to complete on. What is the single requirement for this shift in perception? It's simply this: the recognition that whatever you're going through, whatever the unhappiness, whatever the sickness, is of the mind and has nothing to do with the body. It's of my mind. It has nothing, that whatever you're going through, because your happiness is not at all dependent on whatever it is you think needs to change outside yourself in order for you to be happy. What's making you unhappy right now is the meaning you're giving to it and what you are telling yourself about it. That's what's making you unhappy right now. And the evolving being is the one who knows that. And so they spend all their time giving themselves new thoughts so that they can have a new perception.
Yeah.
And if you don't even know what those thoughts should be, every spiritual practice is making you aware of the ideas that you need to have in order to change your perception. So if you still leave here today and just go to the next thing to hear the same thing, all right, and don't utilize it, you're sweet, you're juicy, you're innocent, you're loved, you're not condemned, everything is cool about you. You'll do it sooner or later, because there is a limit to pain. Would you acknowledge yourself? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. You do. So I got one thing I'm going to wrap this up with in a minute, but let's do the financial expression of appreciation. Thank you for sharing with me. I'm a full-time teacher of the Course in Miracles, so I really appreciate you sharing because you see value in what you heard. It's truly not charity. All right. Those of you watching online, God bless you. You can go to my website, earlpurdy.com. And you can make a financial expression of appreciation also. Thank you, those of you who are doing that. I'm also available for one-on-one sessions called clarity sessions, where I take what I'm talking about today and show you how to apply it to your situation. And those who are open to it, I also use my intuitive insight and spirit's communication to me through the symbolism of astrology and numerology. And let me tell you, every book is symbol. Everything you're learning is through symbolism. Words are symbols too. Just as much as a chart is a symbol, which is funny. So you've already dispelled your pattern. See, you heard this after you changed your mind, because this is an effect, not a cause. So you would not even be seeing me unless you had already decided to look at things differently. So it's not like you listen to me and you're getting ready to make a decision. Actually, it's just the opposite. You already decided to love yourself more, and so therefore I showed up. That's the way it's going to be with your relationships. That's the way it's going to be with your prosperity, your healing, your career, your spiritual awakening. It's all going to show up when you make an undivided decision. And when you make an undivided decision, everything in the universe comes to your aid to support that, if you are aware. We make everything tougher than it is. We really do. So I'm gonna, there's gonna be an announcement right at the end. But right now, I'm going to complete this by hitting on a couple of thoughts that we need to remember. Tuesday night, I do a class called The Way of Mastery, which is just what it says. The way of mastery of this. So come check it out. Again, your prayer has been answered. You may not resonate to me, that's okay. You may not resonate to this, that's okay. There's more than one path to the truth. But I'm especially helpful to those who want this one. And that's what I'm standing up here for. To teach best what you most need to learn. And it becomes even easier with you all because y'all so cute. And you're so juicy and aware, or you wouldn't be here. Isn't that great? Yeah, and I want you to be free. I want you to be free. I'm here to support that. A relationship should just be a perfect shelter for you to grow in. Not to beat you down. You know, a true partner is saying, what do you want? How can I support you in what you want to be? And how you want to express yourself. Not, I'm not going to support that because it's a threat to my specialness. And my agenda. And what I want. You know. Relationships are not complicated except for people who don't know how to do them. It's hard for people who don't know how to do it. So here we go. Y'all ready?
Yeah.